I see dead people. And they're actually more enjoyable than the living. Paranorman. Okay, so Paranorman is about this boy named Norman who has this ability to see dead people. Norman's voice is played by Cody Smit-McPhee. And Norman actually enjoys hanging around ghosts more than hanging around the living, because everyone that's alive pretty much sees him as a freak. His only living friend really is Neil, this fat kid, voiced by Tucker Albanese. Even his own family doesn't even really understand him. Courtney, his sister, doesn't like him, played by Anna Kendrick. Sandra Babcock mostly feels sorry for him. His mother, played by Leslie Mann. Jeff Garland plays the voice of Perry Babcock, Norman's father. Really, the only family member he confides with is his dead grandmother. His grandmother's ghost. Other actors and cast members we have Mitch, who is Neil's very strong stud brother that Courtney has a crush on, played by Casey Affleck. We have Alvin the bully, played by Evil Edgar from Fright Night, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. Also, a member of the cast from The Cosby Show in the Paranorman movie, Tempest Bledsoe, who played Vanessa. She plays the voice of the sheriff. I didn't realize that until I actually looked at the cast. And the voice of the witch, who's named Aggie in the movie, she is voiced by Jordeli Ferland. John Goodman plays Mr. Pendergast, Norman's uncle. To go further into the plot, Norman has to defeat a witch's curse with his ability to speak to the dead, or else the dead will rise from the grave. Ah! And dead really do rise from the grave in this film. It is such a wonderful kids movie, such a wonderful family film. Oh wow! Most of the humor is really adult humor that only adults would be able to get. Not very much humor that kids would recognize, or maybe kids would recognize if they know some of the horror films that are mentioned in this movie. There's a Friday the 13th reference in the movie where you see Neil calling Norman with a phone, and when Norman comes to the window and sees Neil in the hockey match, he goes, ah! Thinking it's Jason, and he goes, hey, you want to play some hockey? So yeah, Norman has to defeat this witch's curse so to prevent the dead from rising from the grave. And when this happens, and when he tries to do this, the dead's already rising. He fails to stop the dead from rising. 7 ghosts rise from the grave. One of them is Judge Ghost, played by the voice of Bernard Hill. And I don't want to spoil this movie because I do want people to see it. Although I really didn't like the middle, I guess you could say the middle of the climax of this movie, when the ghosts are chasing after Norman, Neil, Mitch, Alvin, the bully, and Courtney. There's kind of like a 180 degree turn in the whole chase, and I didn't really like it that much. Or I didn't like the 180 degree turn that much. When I saw the trailer, I thought this movie could get a 9, possibly a 10 on my scale. And when I went into them, and after I came out of the movie, nope, it doesn't rank that high. I mean, it doesn't rank at 9. It's still a great movie, but the animation is great. I didn't see it in 3D. I saw this in 2D. Didn't get to see the 3D show. Maybe I saw the terrible Aberration movie. But yes, I'm going to do a review on that one. First, I was seeing Paranorman in 3D because they weren't running the 3D showings and the 2D showings around the same time. They were running the 3D showings after the 2D showings at my theater. But the shots that were meant for 3D looked very well, even though it was 2D. So I definitely like this movie a lot, despite the little bit of an 80 degree turn that it has in the middle of the climax. Because then it switches, then it picks up again to the point where I like it again. Near the end, when we get to the witch's grave. So I'm definitely going to give this movie an 8.5 on my scale. I think that's the best I can give it. It's a very good movie. Everybody's saying it's like the best animation yet. I'm still waiting for a Wreck-It Ralph. But I think of the movies that the people that made this film, Coraline, The Corpse Bride, and Nightmare Before Christmas. I actually like Coraline and Corpse Bride and Nightmare Before Christmas a little bit more than Paranorman, but I like Paranorman a lot, so I definitely recommend it. Although it's a little bit more for teenagers, maybe like than for kids. But I think so. But I'm pretty sure kids from 10 and up will like it.